Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror film reviews, ratings, rankings, and rumors. Now for your hosts, Danny, Joel, and Katrina.
Ooh, yeah! This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jack-o'-lantern Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we've
That's
got Candy Corn Katrina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking something different, but okay.
I was too.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
The name of the movie we're doing?
Yeah. I was thinking Halloween theme.
Okay.
I
was thinking
kind of Halloween
Cobweb theme.
Yeah.
Cobweb theme. Well, that is the movie we're going to talk about. 2023's Cobweb.
Yes.
Which is actually a Halloween film. So,
Yes.
very weird.
much. Yeah.
Speaking of Halloween, we went to the Spirit store today and got some shirts. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's already time. So, check out Halloween stores in your area. They might be opening up. They probably have some Scare Talk merchandise there. So
they better.
Make sure you go check that out. Yep. Shirts with just Joel's face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pulled it straight from TikTok.
Yeah. It's a pretty scary image, so that's good.
So we're going to talk about Cobweb. So Joel, why don't you tell us who's a part of it?
All right, so this little feature stars Lizzie Kaplan. She was in 10 episodes of Castle Rock. She plays Annie Wilkes, who is Kathy Bates in Misery. So it's that show that's based off of Stephen King stories. Yep. She was in a couple of comedies. She was in Hot Tub Time Machine and The Interview. But I knew her first from Cloverfield.
She the girlfriend?
No, well, she's the friend. That's
the friend.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got Anthony Starr, and he was in a TV show called Outrageous Fortune, 107 episodes. That one lasted a while.
Okay.
38 episodes of Banshee, which I actually think is a pretty good show. I like that one. And most people know him as Homelander from The Boys, 24 episodes.
Yes.
24 and going. They're not, they've done 24 so far, but it's still going on. And then The Covenant, which is a war movie that just came out this year. Have you guys seen The Boys at all?
We have seen The Boys.
We're watching.
We are in the process of
nice. Yeah. It's he's a evil Superman, basically.
Yep.
How you liking it? So I know you're not really big into superhero stuff, but
I love it.
Yeah, she loves it.
Mm-hmm.
I am loving it.
I think it's
weird.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
Very weird things in it. Some cringy stuff.
Yeah.
But as long as you can power through that, it's a fun watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the concept. I think it's pretty clever. And I like the idea of the superheroes taking advantage of their status and the manipulation of the society and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. And then we got Woody Norman. He is Peter. He was in a movie called Come On, Come On with Joaquin Phoenix. Never seen that one or anything. 8 episodes of Troy, Fall of a City. And I haven't watched it yet, but he is in Last Voyage of Demeter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is. Okay, that's the same kid. Interesting.
I was like,
he came out. He's been in 2 movies in less than a month.
Yeah, exactly. That's a couple weeks.
Okay, which
out.
one is he? The boy?
Yeah, this is the boy.
He's probably the boy because he still is a boy. So
She's asking, is he the boy in Cobweb? Is that who
yeah,
you're talking about?
Yeah.
He's a man in the Last Voyage.
He aged really fast.
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen the last voyage of the.
Oh, I haven't either, but I was supposed to this weekend.
That's what I said.
Demeter.
Oh yeah,
Demeter. This was written by Chris Thomas Devlin. He wrote Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Oh.
And this was directed by. That's all he's done. So as far as movies, so this and TCM. So
yeah,
I mean, pretty solid start to a career for writing.
Yeah,
like
I would say so.
This is directed by Samuel Bowden. He directed 31 episodes of Lazy Company. I don't know anything about that one. 8 episodes of Marianne and TANK miniseries. It's actually it's not tank. It's actually pronounced as TANK. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
And this was also I wanted to mention this. I don't usually mention like producers or anything like that. But this was 2 of the main producers were Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who have been like a producing team for like years. With movies like Superbad, they both produced that one. And I think they wrote that one too. But also a show that's similar to The Boys called Invincible. It's a cartoon that is also on an AMC. They produced, and also The Boys is their show as well.
Oh, okay.
There's the connection.
I can see where the little bit of weird cringiness comes from.
Yeah.
And the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and this is the end.
Jeez.
So there's some.
Man, they're killing it.
Yeah, they are. There's some. I don't usually mention producers because they're usually, when a producer is usually involved in the making a movie, it actually makes some movies worse or TV shows worse. But because Seth Rogen is an actor also and writer, like it's just for them, like I'll mention because there's definitely some similarities between this and some of the stuff that they've done. So it's definitely come out in in the producing. They didn't like write anything for it. They may have like suggested some lines. A little bit. Yeah. But yeah. So I just wanted to mention that in there too. So
cool.
All right.
Good to know. All right, so this one is about horror strikes when an 8-year-old boy named Peter tries to investigate the mysterious knocking noises that are coming from inside the walls of his house and a dark secret that his sinister parents kept hidden from him.
See, you had me until you said sinister parents.
Too much information
said in that.
There is, yeah. The description is worse than like any trailers.
Gives everything away. Well, it gives a lot of it away.
Yeah.
This to me was like this year's Barbarian.
I like that.
In the sense that it like starts out as one thing and then at the end like completely flips on its head basically and becomes something completely different. This one took a while longer to get to that than Barbarian did. But this to me is this year's Barbarian. So
I like that comparison.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't think there was like humor like Barbarian had though.
No.
Barbarian had like some I felt like that was the fun part of Barbarian. Like that's kind of what saved me because I wasn't a huge fan of the movie.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things I really liked was the humor.
Yeah, Justin Long was funny. So this movie is interesting, kind of weird with how it's come out. So it's a Lionsgate movie, so it's
I'm agreeing.
Oh, okay. It's a Lionsgate movie, so it's, a big production company that is, producing it and distributing it. But it came out in select theaters. But there were trailers in theaters. Like we saw other films, and then Cobweb was the trailer. It wasn't like promoted huge in like social media and stuff, but within if you kind of follow any sort of horror pages or anything, Cobweb was like kind of spread throughout those pages and stuff on social media. But then when it came to the like theatrical release, it was in select theaters, and we live in Sacramento, a pretty big city.
A big city,
in California, and
the capital.
Yeah. And it was nowhere here.
You guys got the Winnie the Pooh movie, like
yeah. We got the Winnie the Pooh, we got the mean one, we got we got Terrifier 2 when that first came out, we got Jeepers Creepers Reborn. But we didn't get this one, and nowhere in the surrounding areas. We would have had to have traveled like 2 hours or so to watch it in theaters. And that was only for like that week, because I was checking to see if it was going to show up in other theaters, and then even the theater it was showing in, it was out. So, and it came out the same weekend as Barbie and Oppenheimer. So, what are you doing with distributing this movie?
Yeah.
And then the week, I think it was the week after that, or maybe a couple weeks after that, Talk to Me came out. So, that was taking up all the horror talk, So it was just a really, really weird release for this movie. I don't know if they always kind of thought it would just be a straight to streaming movie.
With how this was filmed, with the type of movie this was, it was not a streaming movie.
Well, I wonder if once it was completed and the production companies looked at it, they might have said, okay, we don't know where we're going to put this, so we're just going to throw it out here, select theaters. I don't know why they would do that.
Wait till October. Because for one, it's a Halloween movie. Yeah. It is 100% a Halloween movie. Yeah. Well, it takes place on Halloween night.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a spoiler. Are you serious? And it needed to be in theaters. Yeah. This movie lost a lot by not being in theater.
I would agree.
Because there were so many scenes that I was like, oh, that would have killed it if we were in the theater. And we have a big TV. Yeah. And we have like a sound system, everything. So we had like an experience, but there is something about that big theater experience, and it needed that. I think that took a lot away from this movie. Yeah. And even when we bought, like, you go to like rent or buy the movie on the TV, it wasn't even like super high priced.
Yeah.
It wasn't like if like Disney does something like that where they'll just go straight to streaming, it's still like 20 something bucks.
Yeah.
This wasn't even that much.
15 to buy, 7 to rent.
7 to rent.
So $69. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, it's not even that high price.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like
20. Which was weird. It just was weird.
To get, yeah. So, in October, so Saw was moved to the end of September. So in October right now, the big ones are The Exorcist and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of weeks in October that this could have slid in there in theaters, or anytime in September. Basically any time other than when it came out.
Well, and you could have taken time to promote it more. Yeah. Because we saw previews, like a couple movies, we saw a preview or two. Yeah. But there wasn't that many.
No.
It wasn't like the previews weren't running like crazy.
Yeah.
And so they could have kept running the previews and even done like an additional preview like they do sometimes.
Yeah.
And then waited till October.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Really weird. And obviously we kind of like the movie. That's why we're baffled by this. But before we get into all that, let's talk about
see what others
the critics and the fans.
Yeah, so keep in mind that we don't know how many of the critics. Well, the critics probably saw it in theater, I would imagine, but the fan score. I'm curious how many were actually theater experiences and how many were streaming experiences, because I think that makes a huge difference. So the tomato meter, the Rotten Tomatoes, gives it 62%.
So close. You emphasize tomato meter.
I know, because if I say it fast, just like tomato meter, like no, I didn't do that one right. Okay, hold on. If I focus on it, if I try to like accentuate it, then I can do tomato meter. But if it's just like I'm just talking, it's
tomato.
Yeah, it's just funny because the first time you said tomato, you emphasized tomato, but then you got tomato meter.
I was trying hard.
Rotten Tomatoes.
So for Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Anyway, y'all that use tomato out there can stand up for me a little. Okay, so the audience score is wait, did I even say the tomato
62?
62%. Okay. And the audience score is 73%.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now IMDb is a 6.0.
Okay.
So
I thought it would be higher.
Solid 6.
Again, if it depends on if you saw it in the theater.
Yeah. Most people.
I mean, you didn't, and you still maybe think higher of it, but
I looked at the on IMDb because when I was going through my searches for people in the movie, and it's based off of like 3,000 people, so only 3,000 people actually reviewed the movie.
Yeah, we're almost to 4,000 now.
Yeah, but, so you know, I think it would be much higher if this was a theatrical release, but because we're talking about a very limited amount of people, we get a very limited amount of people actually, giving it a score. So
so we're not gonna get into spoilers. We'll get into those later. It's out to stream, $7 to rent it on Amazon or Vudu or whatever places you want to stream it. Definitely recommend that you do if you're a horror fan. It's very much a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it felt like a Halloween movie to me. It had that vibe. It had that atmosphere. A lot of pumpkins in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Whole backyard full of pumpkins.
And a lot of twists and turns to it. Like with the parents, with, just the different characters. Like, you're kind of unsure who to trust throughout the movie, I would say.
Yeah.
As far as, like, the kid,
as long
who
as you
he could trust.
Yeah. As long as you haven't read the description of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't
know they could be throwing you off. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe they are. I didn't know anything about like that part of the plot.
Yeah.
Going into it, and I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
Because
I remember in the trailer there was some.
They were a little off.
I only remembered one thing about the trailer, and I was like, I am not seeing this. Because the boy and his hearing the things in the wall, like...
Oh, yeah, the knocking at the...
I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Hey, boy. I don't think that part was in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Stop spoiling.
So he's hearing stuff in his walls, and we'll just watch it and find out what's going on in those walls.
All right, no spoilers.
So,
all right, that's it.
So Joel, what did you think going into it?
Yeah.
So
you and Danny were like so crazed for this.
I have been wanting to see this movie for a while. So they actually, I like both of the actors in the movie. Anthony Starr is basically Homelander, like attitude wise and just like personality. He's basically the same. But I've never seen Lizzie Kaplan like this character before, and I like her. I've seen a few things with her in it, and she's more like the chirpy, like happy personality type person, and she killed this movie. She killed the role here. There's a part in particular with her that I'm going to talk about at the spoilers that was like, wow. I actually, at certain points, like got chills from a couple of scenes in this movie. Nice. I dare I say is going to be on my top 10 list. Somewhere in there. It's kind of, I mean, to be fair, it's been kind of a light year for horror anyway.
I know Joel's really been hating on this year for horror.
It's not been great for horror.
That's what you say.
It's August. I would say right now this is in my top 5. So
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't ever remember what things came out. I always have to go back and be
got to rewatch every single movie that came out. The refresher.
But I don't know. I have other ones that definitely beat this.
The Haunted Mansion.
I haven't watched that one yet.
I can't wait to see that.
I love the atmosphere in the movie. It did feel like a Halloween movie for sure. And Halloween in August, whatever. I'll take it. It's
we already went to the spirit store, so
there you go. You're already in the spirit. You're already in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
And we got all the stuff to decorate our tree for Halloween.
Yep.
So we're ready.
We have a
Halloween tree.
Not a Christmas tree.
Yeah, we have a Christmas tree that stays up all year. So each month
it can be a Valentine's Day tree. It can be
we did do Valentine's Day.
Was it the Easter tree?
Easter tree. It's not lazy when you decorate it for every holiday.
Exactly.
It's a fake tree. It's not a real tree.
Well, yeah, I figure.
Yeah, we're not over your water.
By October, it's just completely dead.
Yeah.
By Christmas.
Oh, actually, that would work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So I love the performances. I loved, like I was saying, the atmosphere of the movie. So when I mentioned it's like Barbarian, I wasn't a huge fan of Barbarian. Like, I think I was with Katrina on this one. Because it just seems too left field from where we're going. But with this, they're kind of building up to something. Like the parents had a secret. And, they're trying to figure out what the secret was. It did get a little weird for me at the end there. But it's like, we'll talk about that too. But it's like, it kind of took me out of the movie for a minute. But I still thoroughly enjoyed this movie a lot. So
I had been wanting to see this when we saw the trailer. I thought, okay, that'll be interesting. But we've kind of seen this before, like a little boy hearing voices and noises in his room, like Boogeyman just came out, a couple months ago or whatever. So I felt like it's kind of like something we've seen before. But as it got closer, there was some hype building up for it, and then I was seeing some reviews and people really liking it. So I was like, okay, I'm excited, and some people that I trust their opinion on horror films. So that was why I was excited to see it, and it did not disappoint for me. I liked the performances, like you said, Joel. And then the end, there was a couple of creative choices that I thought they shouldn't have done. But even with that, it was still great.
Yeah. Okay. One thing that I will say that I rarely ever mention is, like, I rarely talk about, like, the photography of the movies. but the camera angles were so good in this movie.
Yes.
So I was really impressed. And then at one point he's coming down the stairs and the parents are talking and you just see like their silhouette. I'm like, that is really cool. So
I think that was my favorite like shot.
Yeah.
He's like right in the middle and they're like the two adults are
awesome. The shadows are just over him. So I was like, that's really cool. All right. So
that was something I really did love about this movie. That was something I said while we were watching it was how I really liked that. I wasn't a huge fan of the acting, or maybe just the writing. It was, I get that like there was supposed to be some like offness with the parents and whatever, but it was a little too forced, and too, I don't know. It kept pulling me back and forth and not in a way that was helpful, or beneficial to me, to the movie. There were some, whatever you said, like the certain effects or whatever that was used at the end that while Danny says he can forgive it and it still keeps it,
it's probably my biggest negative for sure. Definitely my biggest negative for the movie.
Yeah, and so I don't know. By ending the movie the way things did, I just was like, okay. Like I wasn't too excited after the movie.
The very, very, like, you didn't like
not
how
the
it very
very end, but the stuff that we'll talk about, because we're not going to do any kind of spoiling, but there were some certain things with how it developed that I just really did not.
Yeah.
I didn't like how it was portrayed. Like, I feel like it was a great idea, a great concept, but they ruined it by how they did it. And so, I mean, there were certain parts that I was like, okay, this movie's pulling me back in. I'm liking it. And then it was like, you're losing me again. And so I don't know. It wasn't, but again, if it had been in theater, I think I would have liked this movie so much more.
Yeah. There was it was really scene, like a specific scene where you're like, man, that would have been cool in theaters.
Yeah. There were a number of them.
Yeah.
And it was really like just disheartening to know that we didn't have the opportunity to see it. And this was something that really would have valued from it. It wasn't like, it was like kind of that thing where we've been talking about not having the cheap jump scares, but like the like, whoa,
legit, yeah.
And it would have been so great in theater.
Yeah.
When I'm at home watching it on the couch, I'm laying down and I'm like, you gotta be keeping me awake. If I'm home. I did sit the whole time.
It is a tight like 90 minutes, so that is like something about this movie so I typically like long movies, but with some horror, like the shorter it is, the better, because it just there's no lulls in it. There's nothing like it's just one scene after another. Like it's just basically go from from the start. And that's pretty much what this one was for the most part for me.
Yeah, I would say it was a slow burn type of movie, though.
It's like, slow to get to where it's getting.
Yeah, to the climax, but there is the little breadcrumbs throughout. So there's not a lot of downtime. There's something's developing throughout the whole movie. And then at the end is when you get the payoff.
So it's a Hansel and Gretel type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering. This shouldn't be a spoiler. It's about the teacher character. I think you see her in the trailers, but it's kind of weird to me. And this is like a small thing, but to make her a substitute teacher and not a teacher, like you don't even find out about what happened to the teacher. So it's like,
it was
you could have just made her a teacher. Like, I don't know.
A sub.
Yeah, because it made us think that like something happened to the teacher.
Yeah,
but
True.
I mean, I think the only part that that served a purpose was the way the mom reacted to the teacher. But I think she would have reacted that way to either way.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I can think of is she was brand new to the class, and so we're talking about October, so the end of October. So the teacher would have been part of the class for a few months at that point, a couple months.
October's still pretty early in this.
Yeah, but she was brand new, and that's when he started doing stuff at school. So it was like just that perfect timing.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I can think. I don't think it would have mattered necessarily.
They could have rewritten the script to like make her like just a teacher. Like, not even have the principal character because he's only in that one scene. Like, well, he's in like 2, but
he's in 2.
Yeah, he's in 2.
But
still,
neither of them are significant.
Yeah, I know. That's why I forgot about the other one.
Neither are significant, and they go towards my like acting like I don't know what was the point. And
he didn't really act like a principal to me in those scenes, but that's know how's this principal really supposed to be? So I don't know. It's different in every school. So I think we've covered everything, right?
Yeah.
Let's play ball.
Got to give our reviews first.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, we got to give our review.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about our review. Wait, we just did our review.
Our rating.
Okay, our rating.
Yeah, our rating.
Let's give our score. Joel, you go first.
All right. I'm trying to. I've got my phone right next to me. I could look this information up myself, but like I'm trying to.
Do you want Danny to go first?
I think I can. I'm going to give this one because I really enjoyed this one a lot more than a lot of the movies this year, and I think I've rated a lot of the movies fairly high. That I did like.
Yeah, for a year that you hated.
Well, but I'm gonna give this one a 91.
Wow!
All right, I was going 90. So.
Wow. Okay, I'm going for 76.
Oh, jeez. This is not an average movie. That's as average of a score as you can give.
Dang.
Take me to a theater and
see it so, and I don't know if this is why your score is a little lower. I will say that this movie, well, let's do some ballpark.
Yeah, let's go play ball.
We're gonna go into spoilers now.
Charge.
Oh my gosh, this charge thing.
So I will say that this movie I don't feel like has any like underlying message or any sort of message to it. It's kind of just a straight up horror film.
I think there's Homelander's putting a message across. He has his little speech in the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, but there's no there's no message that a person...
He's telling you if you're not good enough, you're getting buried.
I know, but that's for the movie. That's not like a message you can take away from them. Like, talk to me, we would...
No, I think the message is like... how I think there is a message, but I think it was destroyed by the way that they portrayed the monster. Okay. Because that's the thing, is there was a message that they could have had that they seemed like they were trying to have, but then they made this crazy, weird CGI looking. Is that CGI?
Face?
Yeah, the face
Pretty sure
of this.
That's totally CGI. There's no practical about that.
Yeah, it was like if you had made that more realistic, like actually just she was born deformed and the parents were disgusted by her and embarrassed by her, and so they shoved her away in the walls, then that's your meaning, that's your purpose, that's your story. But then they made her some kind of like mutant thing, and it's like, how'd they
like
give birth to this like mutant? Like, no, people don't just give birth to crazy monster things and then just have a regular old kid after that.
Rosemary's Baby.
Okay, that's the devil.
Hey, there might be a prequel. We're gonna have to find out.
But it's one thing to give birth to Satan, not a mutant, and like it's like they, and then later when the teacher is faced with the creature or whatever you want to call it, the kid, she does look like she's just maybe deformed, right? Like her face is maybe a little deformed. Yeah. But when she's up and close with Peter, she's like all like crazy, and it's like, okay, you totally ruined where you were going with this.
So
there was that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
There was that scene when, like one of those like camera shots again, where it looks like she's like a giant spider walking away.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing: is I can even understand her like being able to like, because if she was put into the walls, into this like, cage, and then trying to crawl across the walls and whatever, ever since she was a toddler or whatever, I could understand her joints reforming to be like more spider-like, because she like had to adjust her joints. And like, babies and kids and stuff have like get bow-legged, like you have that, so you can like your joints can form differently. Not that you're really forming into a spider, but but there's like this extra part that, okay, I can understand where she was able to learn to crawl across the walls and whatever.
Yeah.
But the face, that just killed it. It killed it. It ruined the whole entire movie for me.
Wow. Okay.
It was like,
Okay, hold on. So they were doing a really, really good job with not showing it.
Yeah.
They were really keeping it in the shadows, keeping it in the distance, just showing the arms or the legs or whatever.
And they showed the hair.
Yeah, and the hair, the super long hair. And
so she had like real hair and stuff. Yeah.
So, and if they're gonna show the face, like show it like from a side angle or something, not a full on, like front face view for multiple seconds. That's where.
Well, and like the teeth were not even like real teeth, and it just was so off and horrible. And even the coloring in it, like it was like bluish, and I don't know, it was like the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that. I understand. I like what Danny was saying. The whole like you got to keep these things hidden for the most part. That was one scene that did pull me out, but then they didn't show it again. So it's to me, they kind of messed up by showing you the face and everything, but they didn't do it again after that. And so I was like, okay, well, I can be back into this movie again, because it's. If that was the movie the entire time, this would probably be down there with like Black Christmas 2019 for me, because as far as like bad movies, because if the whole movie was just like them showing the creature the entire time, the whole movie, not just a scene or two, because even when she's attacking the kids in there, like you don't see her. Yeah. You see her, like you see glimpses and stuff, but you just see what happens after. Like, after she gets hold of the kids and stuff. So it bothered me for a second, but I was able to like let it go. I also loved like one of the scenes that actually made me give me goosebumps. Okay. Was when like after the parents have been poisoned and the mom's like chasing him upstairs and she falls down and she was like, don't let her out. And then he lets her out, and like after a few seconds, you just hear this like maniacal laughing going on. I was like, "Oh, okay, that was cool. That was really awesome." And that's when you enter into this whole other story that we weren't in before. Like we were just like, okay, well, the parents are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Well, I did predict that she was going to end up being evil. That they did that because they were scared of her, not because.
Yeah.
But I predicted.
But it was still a good scene to like. It was she was putting on this like 8-year-old voice act.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though she was born after him.
Because she was born before
him.
I thought it was after Peter.
Because she was his big sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he would have known about having a sister if she was born.
If she was born after.
Yeah. Well, maybe not when you're 2, but yeah.
Yeah. If he was still like really little.
Because he's only like 9 now. But
also she killed that little girl who was trick or treating. So
and he didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely had a mature voice.
She did. She definitely has this like 60-year-old smoker's voice.
Yeah.
I loved her voice.
Yeah, I did too.
So the two scenes that I loved took you out too. The two scenes that I loved was besides like the camera work and stuff, because I loved all those parts. But the scenes themselves, the dream that he had, where he wakes up and his dad's like in the corner and his eyes are blinking and it's like this.
Oh yeah.
And then he looks over and then his mom's in the shadows and then in the hall and she starts running at him.
Oh yeah.
That scene
needed to be in theater. Needed to be in theater.
That scene was in the trailers, so at least part of that was.
Yeah. But I forgot about that. And it was like, oh dang, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And if we were in theater, that would have been really cool.
Yeah. It was still cool.
Yeah, it was.
Would have been better in theaters, but it was it was still good.
Sorry. So
and then the other scene that I really liked was he's under the bed, the girl is out, all the chaos is going on. I think she's killed most of the people at this point. He's under the bed and she's on top of the bed and she has the pumpkin and she's like telling him the whole story in her like super creepy voice and see, that's where I'm like, okay, this is now turning into like folklore or like
fairy tale.
Yeah, I mean like a dark Halloween
That's what you
story.
called it earlier.
Yeah, like a fairy tale, like a dark fairy tale, like a Halloween story, like a boogeyman or like a Sam.
Yeah.
like it's not like a person. It's more of a thing
idea
or an idea. Yeah, something to haunt you. And that's how the end makes it seem. She's still in his mind. She's still going to be there.
Oh, I love that ending.
Yeah.
Her speech at that end, I was like, that's, yeah.
The ending was good with that.
So her speech on the bed when she basically reveals who she is and everything and, everything about her history. And she has the pumpkin. It's just like that image. I'm like, okay, yes.
But again, that part, but that part she talks about, they always cared about you.
Yeah.
And, so it was like, to me, it was still that whole, I was thrown away. Yeah. I was thrown off because I was born deformed.
Yeah.
And they didn't want me. And so you were Mr. Perfect Son.
Yeah.
That came along and they love you.
Yeah.
And so to me, they were sticking with that.
Yeah.
They weren't going into this other realm until like the end.
Yeah. No, you're right. But like her having that voice and like just, I don't know, something about her holding the pumpkin.
Yeah, you really like that.
I'm like,
you love that.
And like then she puts the pumpkin down and it's the dude's head and everything inside the pumpkin. That it turned it into this story. You know, it turned it into something beyond just the movie to me.
Yeah.
So I
guess
that part.
you guys are more accepting of these Halloween just creation things.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Just like it's not realistic. No, not at all. But
maybe
by the time you see it, it was
a realistic movie up until that point.
Yeah, and because that was the thing too, is the voice. It really bothered me. I get that she was like trying to be a kid and have this kid voice, but it was like, okay, so what is this thing? It's like a creature, right?
Yeah.
But then it's supposed to be. It's like, make a choice. Is it a creature? And this is just like some crazy creature thing. Then don't have it that they gave birth to her.
It's a story.
Like they didn't give birth to some creature.
It's
like
it's the story. It's a story.
To me, when I
Babadook.
Yeah.
It wasn't though. It's not like they're reading a story to him.
That's what
and this is what happened. No.
It is now.
To me, the first thought that I had when I finished this movie was that it felt like a scary bedtime story.
Yeah.
That's
what he keeps saying.
Yeah. That's what they're going for in this movie.
Yeah.
But that's not what they were going for, because they made it a movie, not a story.
Every movie's a story.
No.
Yeah.
I get it that the first half of this was grounded in reality. A lot of this movie was grounded in reality up until you get to the third act. I understand that. But I can also accept that this is, and like you, I didn't like Barbarian because of what happened in that back half of the movie. But for some reason, this, I mean, for one, the creature was scarier than Barbarian.
Yeah, definitely.
And
the creature was better than Barbarian.
Yeah,
I'll give you that for 100%. Sure.
Yeah, and I liked the voice that they're going with this. I don't know. I was able to let go of some of the stuff that at first glance you're like, what is going on? This is stupid. I was able to like let that go because this is a Halloween movie. Like maybe if we were actually watching this during the Halloween season, you might feel differently.
I might, during Halloween season in a theater, I think I would have liked this.
You gotta let the theater part go. It's not gonna happen. So.
They really messed up with how they did this.
Yeah,
they really did.
Big time.
Because I do think that it would have hit a lot different if it was not like, didn't feel like a summer night.
Yeah.
You know, I just went swimming and now I'm coming home and watching this. And
that voice like booming in the theaters
and it was like
the
in a theater. Like it's like
the laughter in the theaters would have been awesome.
Well, and the like the jumps and the it would have been like such an experience.
Well, and those parts, toward the end where you see her in the corner. And you see her kind of just scurry around
and when
the
she's
wall
on the ceiling.
It's
that
was awesome.
Yeah.
And the quick little when she's running around, you can just hear it. You can't see her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just hear the
and even when you see the spider crawling through her hair and stuff, it's like that would have been so much creepier in a theater, on a huge screen.
Yeah, you would have seen the spider.
You would have seen it. Yeah.
It would have been bigger.
So the other part that really bugged me though is the mom. Is she a human? Is she like what is she?
Because
What, the mom? Yes.
She's human.
Okay, but she gave birth to some mutant for some reason.
Real. This is
and
not
for
real.
2, she like all of a sudden gets this. Ooh, I can run super fast and I can zoom in and out. And no, it happened multiple times in this movie, and it was
happened after the dad died, and she like grabs a knife, and you just like see the silhouette of her knife going, and then she runs after him.
Yeah,
that was cool.
But there were
maybe she is part.
Okay, she didn't run like that though. She ran like a person.
Oh my gosh, it was like, like I don't know. She just like
she didn't run like Pennywise.
There and, like, yeah, it was. Yeah, no, it was. I know you're saying it wasn't, but no, you're right. You're right. You're wrong.
So one of the scenes I was talking about earlier, that like gave me chills was with her. Actually, it was when Peter had called the teacher and was like, he was looking down the hallway to make sure it's safe, and he was like saying, "I need help" or something like that. And then like the camera pans and she's like right behind him,
and boom, she's there. She's like, "How'd you get there?"
Well, it could have been in those moments that he wasn't looking down the hallway. Like she could have snuck in there.
But she just happened to like. She has those super like.
People can walk. Like people can like walk stealthily.
She's got the spider walk.
Yeah, she's like some spider.
And he like hangs up the phone, and she calls back, and she just grabs the phone, and is like, just giving him this like dead stare the entire time, talking to the teacher, and like talking about how like at one point because she was saying that like he misses his teacher, and she's like, it's so cute, like just whole deadpan look while she's saying that to him. I'm like, oh man, that's chills. That was a good scene. That was
there was a lot of good scenes in this.
There are.
Yeah.
Not according to Katrina, awesome. But
it was an awesome.
I mean, there's decent scenes, but
I'm buying this bad boy.
I think it comes out watching it alone.
I'll just watch it by myself. I'm gonna watch it like 10 times.
He's gonna watch it every Halloween.
I've already seen it twice, so.
Okay. Perfect. I won't mind watching it again on Halloween, like doing this as one of our
Halloween.
Around.
I think doing this as one of our Halloween movies is fine. I'm giving you the option to watch it again.
We should watch Halloween tonight.
Oh my gosh. Watching The Boys tonight. But I would be curious to see if it feels different with that. Mm-hmm. I will give you guys both that it did feel like a Halloween movie. Mm-hmm. It had that Halloween feel. I felt like it felt more like a kind of trick or treat type Halloween movie than like Halloween.
Yeah.
I think
and Sam is like the creature. Sam is not real. It's folklore.
Okay, no one gave birth to Sam.
Somebody had to.
Somebody did.
He was just.
He didn't birth himself.
Yeah, he was like he came from a pumpkin.
Yeah, he came from a pumpkin.
He's a pumpkin head. Like he's not real. And that's fine. He doesn't have to be real. No one tried to give him parents and give him this whole backstory and whatever.
That's what's cool about it, though.
No.
It's like, oh, this is like, okay, real people, and then, oh man, now it's something else, and
no, give me a break.
Now it's turned into this whole like fairy tale story.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, and it's Halloween. Oh, this is perfect.
It's not.
I do wish they didn't show the face so much.
Yes.
Well, they only showed it a couple of times, like really quick moments. But
it didn't look very good.
Zoomed in, and
I know the thing you're talking about.
Whole thing, and it was.
And you want to see that in theaters?
no, not that part.
Yeah, maybe that's.
You want to see that face expanded to the whole theater?
That's why they took it out of all the theaters.
Yeah.
All the big ones.
All right. Well, this one, some of the biggest disagreements, I think, for at least newer movies.
Yeah. I think
very controversial.
Very controversial.
I mean, me and Katrina were on the same side with Barbarian, so it's just one of those.
I love Barbarian.
You loved it, and we.
Yeah.
I think I liked it more than you did, but like barely.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the side of.
This time you're.
Yeah, this movie is awesome. Go watch it. Don't listen to her.
I'm not saying not to watch it. Go watch it, but then go watch something better. Go watch The Boys or something.
He basically is
Homelander.
Yeah, he is Homelander.
He is Homelander. And that was a little hard too, was like, okay, but he's just playing his same like Homelander role. He just has brown hair now. Like
and no superpowers.
It's like, come on, like, and give him the superpowers.
Creepy,
he's good with superpowers.
He's
he is
aggressive, like, but in a calm way.
Yeah,
you know?
he is.
He's got a way of talking.
I definitely never want to meet that person in like, I would never.
I'm sure he's not like that in real life.
Oh my gosh, he has to have a little bit of like scary.
He does that role very well.
Yeah, he does it too well. I definitely.
He'd be a good,
we ever make it big and go to like
serial killer in a movie.
Yeah. Oh, he would
in real life.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we ever go to any red carpet things, I'm still clear of him.
And he's there.
Yeah. Cobweb 2.
Yeah.
This is so good. The more I talk about it, the more I like it.
Oh.
And the more I defend it, the more I enjoy it.
Yeah. We understand that it has its faults. It's not a perfect like Halloween movie. But it's almost there.
I think Joel, you understand a little better than Danny does.
I'm pretty sure Danny understands. Like the parts that I don't like are the parts that he doesn't like, and it's we can just forgive this movie more than you can.
Because it's really just that little bit, like it's just a little too much.
Yeah,
but it's okay because I like what you're going with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what are you going with? Nothing.
I'm not going to say it again. You're going it's all time fun, creepy story about this girl who lives in the walls.
Go watch what the Billy movie or something. No, that guy the other guy who looks
Black Christmas. He lives upstairs.
No,
in the
not
attic.
Black Christmas.
Oh, the boy.
The boy. Go watch.
Oh
that.
No. This is a bajillion times better than The Boy.
Yeah, it is a lot better than The Boy.
No, I'll watch
you are out of your mind.
I just lost all respect for life.
I'm pretty sure we both.
I love The Boy. The original, the first one, not the second one. The second one was done. But I really like The Boy.
Yeah.
I'll defend them and go listen to our episode on that.
I don't remember how we were with that one because
I try to defend how it makes sense.
Oh yeah, and I was defending how.
Joel wants to get down.
Yeah. Hey.
Living.
Yeah.
Because in that movie, he's a person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
There's a person behind the doll in The Boy.
Yeah,
and it's dumb.
The person in the wall gets out of the wall, goes and moves the doll.
Yeah,
jumps back into the wall. Yeah,
and it's a giant guy. Like no.
Yes, it's a
ridiculous.
Oh, stop it!
But I liked it a lot. I like the reveal, the twist in that movie, and I like the reveal in this movie. You can have it both ways.
You
because
can.
of the way this movie
you can. You're wrong. You can.
Done.
Yeah.
That's how Katrina's feeling right
See, Joel's got it.
Oh, this is so much better
All
than
right.
the boy.
This has been Scare Talk.
Anyways. All right. So, yes, Cobweb is good. Go see it. Looking forward to, not really looking forward to, but we will be reviewing soon The Nun. Because The Nun, The Nun 2,
not really looking forward.
The Nun 2 is coming out early September. So I have never seen The Nun myself.
I've seen it once.
I've heard only bad things. I have heard nothing good about it. It's in the Conjuring universe. Valak, I think, is the Nun's name.
Yeah, from Conjuring 2.
Conjuring 2.
Oh, okay. I'm down with that.
Okay. So we'll see. We're going to review The Nun, and then we will review The Nun 2 once that one comes out as well.
Get to the Annabelle movies at some point, too. I don't know when the next Annabelle movie is coming out, but there's already been 3 of those. And that's like the last of the Conjuring movies we have to do.
I haven't seen any of the Annabelle movies yet, so I guess I better do one.
Those saw
good ones.
Annabelle Creation.
I think I saw peeks of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. And
they're not really even about Annabelle.
Okay, because I don't want to really deal with Annabelle.
She doesn't really do that necessarily.
Good, because I don't need her doing anything.
2 of the 3 of those movies are good, but yeah. So those, and are we doing Voyage of the?
Oh yeah,
last Voyage of the Demeter
as well. We will be doing that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, Danny got to see a pre-screening of it.
Pre-screen.
I couldn't get off work, so.
So we will be doing that, and so that'll be coming too. So look out for the last Voyage of the Demeter, the Nun 2, and
I don't know what else is coming out.
This one before Urban Legend, so Urban Legend will be in the mix at some point there as well. So
we already did that, right?
Yeah.
We did.
You'll find that one popping up pretty soon. All right.
This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let that awesome girl in the walls with the creepy face and the Halloween fairy tale story bite. Yeah.